It's showtime!
Oh, they're coming! They're coming!
Oh god! Make to kill him.
I'm coming for you!
Hunter's coming! Hunter's coming!
It's Hunter Biden. Yeah, happy.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, down the hallway, run!
I'm dead.
Wait, revive me, I'm the ray gun, man.
Bro, there's so many generals. Wait, I got you, bro, I got you. Watch this play. Never mind.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Oh, I don't think so.
What is this feeling? Is this joy? Is this happiness? Is this hope?
Hello there guys, gals, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Leipalarden and today I'm crawling back to Halo Infinite like that ex-girlfriend that you can't quite bring yourself to totally give up on because Season 5 dropped harder than the Ivy mic test. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't keen as a bean to talk about it. As much as I am enjoying Season 5, I'm not going to pull any punches. This is going to be my honest feedback of the season and the state of Halo Infinite as it currently stands. Now, the question on everyone's mind: is this Infinite's anime redemption arc? Is this the start of the game's comeback? Infinite has admittedly come a very long way since launch in regards to player progression and how people are able to play. Halo has always felt inviting to all kinds of players because no matter what mode you play, it felt like you were getting rewarded for it. I think that's why Reach, and to a lesser extent even Halo 3 and 4's progression systems, were so addictive and frequently looked back on by the players as the best in the series. You could play campaign, custom games, forge, firefight, and of course matchmaking, and it all contributed to your rank, or certain armor unlocks, or how many credits you earned. It feels like we're getting closer to the play whatever you want and get rewarded model, which is a massive step up from how Infinite used to be, where each part of the game felt segregated. Matchmaking was the only logical way to play the game and still feel like you were progressing and not wasting your time, which meant that custom games were often discarded. XP for custom games is capped out at 120 XP per game and 7,500 XP a day, which means you have to play 9 custom game matches for one tier in the Battle Pass. In total, you can unlock 7.5 Battle Pass tiers in a day if you do absolutely nothing else but play customs. I mean, that's not bad. This change in collaboration with other big developments that I'll get to later have reinvigorated the customs browser. I'm seeing more lobbies, more often, which is always a big W. Only Aussies will get that joke. Of course, we can't talk about progression in Halo without also mentioning cosmetics. Season 5 has taken a different approach to its battle pass, trimming the fat and double ups of previous seasons, things like unlocking 2 of the same shoulder pieces in the one pass, or the same armor coding multiple times for different armor cores, etc., and now it only has 50 tiers. For people who want to progress through the pass for free, you can grind through the first 20 tiers to unlock all the free stuff, and from 21 to 50, it's only available for the big boys who have too much disposable income, who purchase the Premium Pass. However, the pass will only be available for people to play through for free until the 17th of November. From that point onwards, you've got to pay to get access to it. 343 is only a little indie dev team, so I guess they've got to make their money somehow, right? The unlocks in the Battle Pass are disgusting, they're appalling looking, I hate them, but in all the right ways. If you don't like the Flood and making your Spartan look like an exploded lasagna in Power Ranger armor, this probably won't be your cup of tea, but I personally think it's a really cool addition and evolution of the Flood cosmetics that we've seen in multiplayer before, but never been able to access outside of specific game modes. There is some discussion online about the look of the Flood and them not being floody enough. I think these are some valid concerns, though to be fair, the Flood have gone through a number of looks and changes over the years. In the first 2 Halo games, they were more fungal and sickly green. In Halo 3, there was an emphasis on flesh tones and browns. In Halo 4, they were just kind of nasty looking crustaceans that made funny noises, and Halo Wars 2 expanded the Flood's breadth of design even further, introducing yellows and oranges with nasty looking growths and boils and giving them more of an internal glow. Infinite's take on the parasite best resembles this interpretation, I think, and is probably a bit more family friendly, which is why I think they went with it. It opens the door for some great opportunities for machinima creators, and most importantly, I am terrified of every match that I enter now. I low-key wish that Infection was this, and not this.
You're not an intellectual. You're a fake and a fraud.
On another note, the intel drops that we have been getting on Waypoint fleshing out the story of this season have actually got me interested for once. The events of multiplayer are supposed to be canon to some extent, or at least they were. I really don't know what's going on with the story anymore, but it's got me wondering, will we see the Flood back in a larger capacity at some point in the future? Or are we just going to forget that this happened in 6 months' time, just like the Awakening the Nightmare DLC for Halo Wars 2? Cross-core helmets and certain cross-core coatings are a much-needed addition to the armory. Finally, I feel like I can choose other cores besides the Mark 7 core because there are some decent options for helmets and colors to swap between. Though not all of them have made the transition yet. I can't believe that I stayed up till 4 in the morning for this goddamn coating and I can only use it on one armor core. I'm an idiot. I've already noticed considerably more variety in the Spartans I'm playing with and against in matchmaking. Full cross-core customization next, surely. Or at least in future move towards a model that circumvents that armor cores system entirely because who the f*** asked for it? The other change going forward will be to event passes, where previously you had a certain number of days to complete these passes for free by doing certain challenges or whatever. Now you've got to cough up some credits up front if you want to get access to them again once they expire, and to get an additional layer of premium unlocks. So these passes never expire now, and there's more in them, but you need to pay for them. This rubs me the wrong way because Infinite already has so many monetizable channels, the Battle Pass, the store, the campaign, which is still full price. I hit her so hard my game crashed! And now they're slapping this on top of it. On the other side of the cosmetic spectrum, you can now earn Master Chief's Mjolnir Mark 6 Gen 3 armor for reaching max rank in Infinite. Awesome! This is exactly what myself and countless others have been asking for and incentivizes people to grind through those career ranks. However, it still doesn't make up for the fact that there isn't a decent reward for reaching any of the other ranks. You still get a shitty emblem, but hey, at least this is a start. The big issue I have with Chief's armor is that it's an armor kit, so you can't customize it outside of coatings, visors, and armor effects. You can't even put the Mark 6 helmet on other armor cores like every other helmet in the game now, and you're limited specifically to this kit and nothing else. The other thing that... oh boy, I'm trying not to get too fired up over this, is that Chief's Mark 5 armor from Combat Evolved, which is easily the best looking official iteration of the armor since its original appearance, is going to be in the store! Fuck! And again, it's an armor kit, so there's barely any options to customize it. It's almost like 343 knew that people were going to buy this armor kit in droves because it's over 30 Australian dollars. And in this economy, you expect me to pay 30 bucks for that? Not a chance! And the value for money is fucking zip, nada. They're charging 30 bucks for this armor kit, and for what should be just 2 armor coatings that work universally across all the armor cores, vehicles, and weapons in the game, but instead they've split them up and inflated the size of the bundle and consequently its price too. And they've slapped another gold visor in here as well, not as if we had plenty of those already, and an all-black armor coating.
Why? It's just so low effort. For 30 bucks, I'd expect like a CE assault rifle skin that makes the sound of the OG AR, an emblem of some kind, a weapon charm, something that makes this bundle a bit novel. But no, you're basically paying 30 bucks for 2 coats of digital paint spread out 8 different times. This shit isn't fucking real! It's all a Fugazi!
Fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real, right?
This isn't the only piece of fan-favorite armor that's looking to be coming to the store though. The pilot helmet from Halo Reach, a personal favorite of mine, is also being added to Infinite's store sometime later this year. Also, the prices for stuff in the store are creeping their way back up again.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
There's always a caveat when 343 do something cool like this, isn't there? God damn it. The implementation of AI in Forge is a dream come true for so many people, myself included. Effectively being able to make your own enemy encounters, campaign-like scenarios, PvE battles, and even firefight maps. Tweak the AI and mess around with their weapons, attributes, what team they're on, and so much more. This has opened the floodgates to limitless possibilities for PvE content that Infinite was massively lacking up until now. I never thought I'd see the day where I'd be running into battle with hunters and brutes as a Spartan on Blood Gulch, but it happened and it was awesome. The positive impacts of this edition are being felt throughout the community and the internet at large. YouTube content on AI in Forge is popping off, and the customs browser isn't Sahara Desert levels of barren like it was when Season 4 dropped. The Forge team's contribution has almost single-handedly carried this season from the realms of, yeah, it's aight, to something much better. I really cannot sing its praises enough. Forge team, we love you, keep doing what you're doing. I'm very much looking forward to Firefight releasing later in the season. While the Firefight maps that I've played in the customs browser have been a lot of fun, they are a bit... how best to describe this? Any aliens out there? I think we killed them all, bro. A bit sketchy in some respects. What the community is doing is great, but once that official mode releases and we get more options to choose the settings for each wave, skulls and so on, I think it'll be a lot better. The 2 new maps added in Season 5 are... yeah, they're fine. I mean, aesthetically, they're great. I love the callbacks to Delta Halo and Halo 2 with Forbidden, and the setting for Prism is just excellent. It's easily my favorite of the 2 new maps, and it's not even close. The birthplace of the Needler, where the ammunition for it is found and mined, the environmental hazards, having the Blamite crystals that you can destroy and that they track down enemy players is such a cool way to integrate an environmental hazard into the map, and the whole aesthetic is so unique compared to the rest of the maps in the game. I can't complain about there being too many UNSC facilities anymore when 343 be out here dropping straight pink fire like this. Though that campaign variant of the Needler as the map's power weapon, holy shit, if that was in any other map that wasn't Needler themed, I'd be so pissed because it's incredibly OP. On the other hand, I do have some reservations about Forbidden. Like I said, I appreciate the visual aesthetics of the map, but I find the actual layout somewhat lacking in my opinion. A recurring issue my friends and I encountered while playing the map was its size, which seemed excessive for 8 players. We'd often be running around and not finding any enemies for upwards of a minute or so. I'm kind of curious as to how it would play in a 6v6 scenario, which might be a better fit. Additionally, I found that sniper and precision weapons tended to dominate the experience. When a skilled player controlled the lanes with these weapons, it often spelled doom for the enemy team, especially if they managed to secure both sniper rifles. I'm also just going to reiterate this, but it would be refreshing if 343 Industries ventured away from their usual symmetrical map design approach just for once. And I'm also slightly disappointed by the absence of a developer-created big team battle map, but what can you do? Something else you might notice on these maps is the inclusion of a new, well, I say new, weapon, the Bandit Evo, which is just the DMR. It's what the Bandit should have been when it was added to the game in Season 3. It's got a little hollow point sight that provides magnification with the weapon, but like, come on man, who was it at 343 who said,
"So people want a scope on their wee Bandit, do they? Nah. Let's put this little generic red dot looking sight on it. People will love that shite."
You guys had one job. I think the Bandit Evo is a really fun weapon to use. I've been picking up and running with it whenever I get the chance because it's very versatile in the same way Reach's DMR was, just with considerably less bloom, which you won't catch me complaining about. Glad to see 343 learnt something from Bungie's mistakes. It's also the new starting weapon for Ranked. Now, I haven't played Ranked in Infinite since like Season 2 because no one in the Southern Hemisphere plays Ranked and I got sick to death of getting into lobbies with high ping, and I'm not a fucking nerd, so I'm really not in a position to comment on its place as the new starting weapon. However, I'm a BR simp, so fight me in the comments. It's also a bit disappointing that our only new weapon for this season is a variant of something that already exists. Halo has a plethora of weapons that could be added and reimagined to better fit Infinite Sandbox. The plasma rifle, or repeater, or caster, or launcher, grenade launcher, sticky detonator, spiker, fuel rod cannon, SMG, railgun, mauler, flamethrower, brute shot, any of the Promethean weapons. Oh god, I almost ran out of breath there. Thinking of it now, wouldn't it have just been cooler for the Bandit to have been the needle rifle or Covey carbine instead? I mean, they fill the niche of single-fire precision weapons, so they definitely could have gotten it to work. And of course, there's the returning game mode from Halo 4, Extraction. I thought Extraction was fun enough in Halo 4. It certainly wasn't up there with the likes of Dominion, but it's certainly one of the game modes of all time, though it's basically just King of the Hill, but press X to capture. There were better modes that could have been reintroduced that might have been a better fit to this season's Flood theme, like Juggernaut. Have one person start as the Juggernaut, looking all flood-infected and nasty. Invasion could have been a massive W as well, especially if it was PvPvE, similar to Halo 5's Warzone mode. And because it wouldn't feel like I'm doing my job properly if I didn't talk about it, 343 recently added BTB Infection to the Combat Workshop playlist. The balancing was all off and the zombies were ridiculously OP when the mode first came out, but now that it's been tweaked a bit, it's far more enjoyable, albeit still a Halo Infinite Infection, which I don't like all that much.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I just stabbed him and it made the sound. Yep, that would explain it.
But kudos to 343 for fixing the mode so quickly and listening to community feedback. In future, I'd love to see some more community-made maps added to the playlist if it continues to be popular, so there's a bit more variety than just the 3 maps that we currently have.
While there's plenty of new content in this season, I'd be doing myself a disservice if I didn't touch on the existing issues in Infinite that have yet to be fixed, in the vain hope that the developers are watching and will do something about it.
There is still a lack of options for custom game modes, especially for Infection. The customs browser is still fairly unstable. Sometimes you get hit once with the cannot connect to server, and it just won't let you join other custom lobbies till you restart your game, which is a massive waste of time, and you still can't join a custom game with friends on your fire team. Skill-based matchmaking in social game modes, literally anything outside of ranked, is a pain in the ass, it impacts searching times. I just want to have fun, man. Not have to sweat my ass off. Playing 4v4 on Infinite solo queuing is a really miserable experience.
Theatre is still prone to doing this. Recording the sections for this video in theatre was one of the most anxious experiences of my life.
Because if I dare rewind too far back in the clip or fast forward too quickly, there was a real chance of my PC exploding, and the menus still suck. I miss being able to see other people's Spartans or their rank, or scrolling through a list of game modes and features in a vertical drop-down list and not a bunch of Netflix-sized icons on the menu.
Hate this UI, man. How does it?
Obviously there are more pre-existing issues than that with the game, but those were just a few off the top of my head. If you've got any more that you can think of, feel free to drop them in the comments below.
So yeah, Season 5 of Halo Infinite is a pretty fun time. It's a noticeable improvement over every season that came before it, but
we were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
Between the multitude of pre-existing issues that are still present in the game and have yet to be fixed, or even have an indication of being fixed, the age-old issue of microtransactions, and a few other things here and there, it bumps it down just a bit. And look, I don't want to deter people from playing Infinite. I know that I've been pretty harsh with my criticisms throughout this video. It's fine to be positive about something and give credit where it's due, but I still believe there are holes in the experience and I don't want those getting overlooked. Overall though, there is far more good in this season than there is bad. That's the most important thing.
I'm still not going to let 343 off the hook entirely though, because so much of this stuff should have been in the game at launch.
Just be happy it's in the game.
Bro, shut up! Imagine how much better this game would have been received if all of this was in there from day one. Halo's first ever tagline was Combat Evolved, and yeah, sure, it's evolved, just backwards. Staggered releases over the course of 2 years for content that used to be in there at day one is shithouse.
Anyway, leaving my reservations about Halo Infinite's launch behind, I do want to acknowledge 343 for their efforts in swiftly addressing numerous issues. The fixes they're alluding to making for things like network and connection problems, as an Aussie, that's great, but doing more work to enhance customization options and streamlining the bug reporting process is very encouraging. Although, I think there's still room for them to go further, and an easy win would be to address things that dampen the gaming experience, like skill-based matchmaking, reintroducing social features such as the ability to form parties with other players, implementing stuff like map vetoing, pre- and post-game lobbies, proximity chat, or at least a way to communicate with all the players in a match and not just those on your team. The game still lacks that sense of casual fun that was prevalent in many of the older Halo games, and it's a sad omission, and the main thing that I think is keeping it down. Up to this point, no previous season of content for Infinite has been enough to move the dial and keep it there. But my optimism is rooted in the hope that Season 5 can change that, because there appears to be a more positive sentiment towards the game, and the player population boom for the new season was the biggest since Season 2. Isn't it funny how the introduction of more PvE content brought back more people than almost any other season previously did? Almost like, oh, I don't know, people enjoy things about Halo other than just its multiplayer. But hey, campaign DLC has just been jettisoned out the fucking airlock, so I guess Microsoft don't like money. The population does seem to be tapering off a bit on Steam at least, and in terms of positioning in the Xbox most played games list, we're just sitting above 20th place as of November 5th. This could just be gratuitous amounts of hopium, but I'm also feeling a genuine shift in my attitude. Being a Halo fan is a bit like being on a roller coaster, peaks and troughs, right? Currently I'm feeling like we're rolling up to something good, and the content releasing in season like Firefight King of the Hill and just Firefight Classic, the repair field equipment, and a bunch of Halo 3 map remakes all look like good additions. We've finally reached this point with Infinite where most of the content that was once in previous Halo titles is all there. We've got campaign, firefight, well, we will soon, but thanks to the community, we basically have it working already. Multiplayer, custom games, Forge, and a mostly working theater. So who knows what might be coming next? And the premise that anything added to the game now is hopefully going to be brand new, or building on top of what we already have there, which is finally a solid foundation, that's pretty exciting. It's just a shame that we had to wait this long for it to happen.
So if you've been on the fence thinking about playing Halo Infinite again, I think Season 5 brings enough new to the table on top of what the previous seasons brought to make it worth another go. If nothing else, I hope that Season 5 proves that the first impression doesn't always have to be the last. But you know what? All of this pales in comparison to the biggest news of the year. Gamer Fuel is back, baby!